Welcome to Vital Steps with Dr. Adler. This is the show that helps you feel strong, clear, and healthy.
It's good
no
to
matter
see you
your
again,
age.
Doctor.
Each week, we share simple advice that's backed by science and full of wisdom. We talk about food, movement, sleep, and everything in between.
Yeah, guys, welcome to this episode with, of course, our own Dr. Adler. In this episode, we are talking about something serious, something urgent, and something that could honestly protect or even save your life. If you're over 65, listen closely, because today we're talking about cancer, toxins, and silent killers hiding right in your kitchen. You've heard it all your life: eat your veggies. But here's the shocking truth: some of the so-called healthy vegetables that you think are good for you, they've been linked to cancer in older adults. But don't panic just yet, because here's the twist. These very same veggies, when eaten the right way, can actually help prevent cancer too. So stick with us. You don't want to miss a second of this episode. It just might change the way you look at your dinner plate forever. All right, Dr. Adler, let's kick this off. How in the world can a healthy vegetable be linked to cancer?
Sounds strange, right? But it's true. Some vegetables, especially in older adults, can do both good and harm, depending on how they're prepared. Let's take a group called allium vegetables. That includes garlic, onions, and leeks. These are everyday foods you'll find in almost every kitchen. People use them for flavor, for heart health, and some even take them as natural medicine.
Right, I mean, who doesn't love a little garlic or onion in their food?
Exactly. But here's what most people don't know. These vegetables have something powerful inside them: organosulfur compounds. They also carry vitamin C and antioxidants called flavonoids. And when eaten raw, especially garlic and onions, they can actually lower the risk of breast cancer. There was a study done in Puerto Rico that looked at 660 women. The women who ate a lot of garlic and onions had a lower risk of breast cancer. And another study, this one in Iran, found the same thing with leeks and garlic, especially when eaten raw. So we're talking about real protection here.
So garlic and onions can help fight cancer? That's huge. But why do you say they could also be dangerous?
This is where it gets tricky. It's not the food itself, it's how you eat it. That same study in Puerto Rico also found that when people ate a high amount of cooked onion, their risk of breast cancer actually went up. So if you're boiling or frying onions all the time, you might be losing the good stuff and creating conditions that could harm your health instead.
That's wild. So, when you cook an onion, it's not just changing the taste, it's changing the health effects too.
Exactly. Cooking can break down the sulfur compounds and antioxidants that help fight cancer. Raw garlic and raw onion hold onto these nutrients better, but when you fry them or cook them for too long, you lose the protection and may even end up feeding your body the wrong signals.
Okay, so let me ask the big question. Should people stop cooking onions?
Not at all. I'm not saying to never cook onions again, but if you're someone over 65 and you're eating onions or garlic every day, you should think about getting some of it raw. Try a small garlic dip. Add raw onion to a salad. Even just a spoonful of chopped raw garlic mixed with olive oil can make a difference.
Got it. So, the key isn't to toss out onions, it's to balance how we eat them?
Exactly. Balance is everything. Your body needs those cancer-fighting compounds, but you have to give them a chance to work. Older adults already face a higher risk of cancer just due to age, so eating smart becomes even more important.
All right, let me break this down. Garlic, onions, and leeks, they can protect against cancer, right?
Yes, especially against breast cancer, and maybe other cancers too. But breast cancer is where we've seen strong data. Raw garlic and raw onion were both linked to lower cancer rates in the studies. Leeks showed a similar effect.
But once we start cooking them too much,
That protection starts to go away. And in the case of high cooked onion intake, the risk might even rise.
that's a shocker. I don't think most people have any idea that something like cooking could flip the script on a healthy food.
You're right. It surprises a lot of folks. That's why we're doing this episode, because knowledge gives people control.
So, how do people know if they're getting enough of the good stuff? I mean, how much raw garlic or onion are we talking?
The studies aren't exact, but the women who saw the most benefit We're eating garlic and onion several times a week. Not giant amounts, just regular small servings. Even just half an onion a day, raw, can provide great benefits over time.
Okay, I can do that. Maybe not in the morning, but I can work it in. And what about people who say, oh, garlic upsets my stomach, or I don't like the taste?
That's fair. Raw garlic can be strong. If it bothers your stomach, start small. Mix it with yogurt, put it in dips, blend it into dressings. The goal isn't to eat a whole clove at once, it's to build it into your diet a little at a time.
And leeks. We haven't talked much about them.
Leeks are another part of the allium family, and they've shown promise too. They're milder than onions and easier to eat raw. You can slice them thin and add to salads or sandwiches.
So between garlic, onions, and leeks, we've got some powerful tools in our kitchen. But we've also got to be smart about how we use them.
Exactly. These foods can fight cancer, clean out toxins, and protect your cells. But only when we eat them the way nature intended, fresh and simple.
This is eye-opening. We're taught to eat more vegetables, but we don't always hear about how the cooking method changes the story. Now, Dr. Adler, let's say someone's over 65 and they already eat garlic and onions. What would be your best advice for them?
Great question, I'd say. Keep doing it, but be smart. Eat them raw when you can. Add raw garlic to dips. Put chopped onions in fresh salads. And if you're cooking them, don't overdo it. Light sautéing is better than deep frying. And always pair your diet with colorful vegetables, fiber, and healthy fats like olive oil. Also, pay attention to how your body reacts. Some people get digestive issues from raw onions or garlic. That's okay. You can still get benefits in small amounts.
Moving on, Dr. Adler, you've got something powerful for us today. Now let's talk cruciferous vegetables.
Absolutely. I love this topic. Cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, bok choy, and Brussels sprouts, are some of the strongest cancer-fighting foods on the planet. Most people think of them as just rough, leafy veggies. But they're not just green. They're green machines, fighting disease, repairing damage, and protecting your lungs in a really amazing way.
That's wild. So how do they work exactly? I mean, what makes them so special?
It comes down to a few superstar nutrients. Cruciferous veggies contain something called sulforaphane. It's a sulfur-rich compound. Sounds kind of weird, right? But it's actually one of the most powerful cancer fighters in any food. They also have something called indole 3-carbinol, which helps fix cell damage caused by harmful chemicals, especially the ones we breathe in from pollution, smoke, or just living in a toxic environment. So, these veggies don't just feed your body, they protect your cells. That's why they're so strongly linked to fighting lung cancer.
Wait, so eating broccoli or cauliflower can help prevent lung cancer?
Yes, it really can. Studies show that people who eat more fruits and vegetables, especially cruciferous ones, have a lower risk of lung cancer. One reason is that these foods help your body get rid of dangerous toxins faster. They boost enzymes that clear out carcinogens. Those are the chemicals that can start cancer in your cells. It's like your body has a cleanup crew, and these veggies give that crew a superpower boost.
That is seriously cool. But here's what I want to know. Does this still help people who have never smoked? Or is it just for folks with a smoking history?
Great question. And the answer is, it helps everyone. Whether you've smoked in the past or not at all, your lungs are still exposed to air pollution, cleaning chemicals, and other everyday toxins. These foods help repair and protect the lungs from damage, no matter your background. But if someone has smoked, or lives with someone who does, cruciferous veggies become even more important, because they work behind the scenes to help undo some of that damage.
Okay, so let's talk to the people listening right now. Maybe they're over 65. They're trying to eat healthier, but they hear so many different opinions. Supplements, pills, powders. Do they really need to eat these veggies? Can't they just pop a vitamin?
I hear that all the time. And here's the truth. No supplement can do what real food can. Studies prove it again and again. The nutrients your body gets from actual food, fresh, whole vegetables, are way more powerful than anything in a bottle. Because when you eat real broccoli or cabbage, you're not just getting one vitamin, you're getting a team of nutrients that work together. Sulforaphane, fiber, antioxidants. That teamwork can't be bottled.
Got it. So, eating these veggies is better than taking something fake. But let's be honest, Dr. Adler, a lot of people don't like the taste of Brussels sprouts or cauliflower. Any tips to make them easier to eat?
Oh, definitely. And you're right, some people avoid these foods just because they grew up eating them boiled and boring. But here's the trick. Roast them. Add olive oil, a little garlic, and even a sprinkle of lemon or Parmesan. Roasting brings out their flavor and cuts the bitterness. Or mix them in with foods you already like. Add chopped broccoli to pasta. Stir shredded cabbage into soup. Blend spinach or kale into smoothies. You won't even taste it. The goal isn't to eat a mountain of them in one sitting. It's to include them a few times a week. Small steps add up.
That makes sense. And I love that idea, sneaking them in instead of forcing them down. Now, as you mentioned earlier, these veggies help fix cell damage. Can we talk about that a little more? What's actually going on inside the body?
Sure. So your cells get damaged all the time by the air you breathe, the food you eat, even stress. And when a cell is damaged, it can sometimes start to grow the wrong way. That's how cancer begins. But cruciferous veggies have natural compounds that stop that damage before it turns dangerous. Indole 3-carbinol is one of those protectors. It tells the cells, hey, let's fix this before it gets worse. That's why people who eat more of these foods often have lower cancer rates. Their cells are better protected and better repaired.
That's so powerful. Honestly, it's not something most people think about when they look at a piece of broccoli. So, what would you say to the older adults listening right now? Maybe they've had a scare. Maybe they just want to live healthier. What's the takeaway?
I'd say start small, but start now. Every time you fill your plate, make half of it fruits and vegetables. And don't forget the cruciferous ones. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. They're not just food, they're protection. You don't need to make a huge change overnight. But even adding these veggies 2 or 3 times a week can support your lungs, lower your cancer risk, and help you feel stronger.
This has been eye-opening, Dr. Adler. Cruciferous veggies, who knew they were doing so much. Behind the scenes? But let's keep going because this next group of vegetables might be even more important, especially for folks who used to smoke or maybe still do. We're talking about leafy greens. You know the ones: spinach, kale, romaine lettuce. People often avoid this stuff unless it's buried under a dressing or cheese. So let's dig into it, Dr. Adler. Why are leafy greens so powerful when it comes to lung health?
Great follow-up. Leafy greens are like nature's repair crew. They're full of a B vitamin called folate. And folate is a big deal. It helps your body fix its own cells. Think of it like this. Your cells get little cuts or scrapes every day from stress, pollution, or chemicals like those in cigarettes. Folate steps in and helps patch things up before those scrapes turn into something dangerous, like cancer.
So, you're saying folate actually helps repair the damage done inside our lungs?
Exactly. And it does more than just repair. It protects, especially from something called tobacco carcinogens. These are the chemicals in cigarettes and secondhand smoke that can damage lung tissue. Researchers have found that folate can guard the cells in your lungs from those dangerous compounds. It's like giving your lungs a protective shield.
That's amazing. But here's something I've got to ask. Does it only help people who've smoked?
Good question. While folate is especially helpful for current and former smokers, it benefits everyone. See, even if you've never touched a cigarette, you're still breathing in polluted air, car exhaust, and even fumes from household cleaners. That stuff wears down your lungs over time. Folate helps fight back. But yes, if someone used to smoke, even if it was years ago, leafy greens are one of the best ways to help heal that damage.
All right, so spinach and kale just went from boring salad stuff to superhero food. But tell me, why is this so important for older adults?
As we age, our bodies slow down when it comes to cell repair. The cleanup crew isn't as quick or strong. That's where leafy greens step in. They bring in the nutrients, like folate, that help keep everything running smoothly. Plus, older adults often take medications or drink alcohol, both of which can lower folate levels. And here's something a lot of people don't know. Smoking also drains folate from your body. So if you're over 65 and smoked at some point, you're probably running low on folate. That makes leafy greens even more important.
Wow, I didn't know that smoking actually uses up folate. So someone could be eating okay, but still be low on folate just because of past habits?
Exactly. That's why leafy greens are such a smart move. They don't just give you a boost. They help replace what your body's been losing. Spinach, romaine lettuce, kale, even broccoli has some folate. These foods are like little lung healers hiding in your fridge.
Okay, so I'm guessing the next question is the one everyone's thinking. How much of these greens do we actually need?
The good news is, you don't need to eat a truckload. Just aim to include leafy greens in 1 or 2 meals a day. Even a small salad with dinner, a handful of spinach in your morning eggs, or some kale blended into a smoothie can give your body what it needs. The key is consistency. Your body doesn't store folate for long, so you need to get it regularly from food.
That's doable. And I love that you said it doesn't have to be fancy. Just real food, used in simple ways. But let's talk about taste. Some folks just don't like the flavor of leafy greens, especially older adults who didn't grow up eating them. Any tips?
Oh, definitely, it's all about how you prepare them. Try sautéing spinach with a little olive oil and garlic. That's a classic and delicious combo. Or mix chopped kale into pasta sauce. It softens and takes on the flavor of the dish. And if you're into smoothies, a small handful of baby spinach disappears right into the fruit. You won't even know it's there, but your body will feel the difference.
Smoothies. That's smart. Get the greens without the bite. I'm stealing that tip. Now, Dr. Adler, I want to bring this back to something personal. We've got people listening right now who may feel like it's too late to fix things. Maybe they smoked for years. Maybe they haven't touched a vegetable in decades. What would you say to them?
I'd say it's never too late. That's not just a feel-good phrase, it's science. Studies show that even former smokers can lower their lung cancer risk just by changing what they eat. Every meal is a chance to give your body something better. Every bite of spinach or kale is like a little thank you to your lungs. Don't focus on the years behind you, focus on the days ahead. You've got the power to help your body heal, starting today.
That gave me chills. Seriously, every bite is a quote, thank you quote, to your lungs. I love that. And honestly, leafy greens just climbed way up on my grocery list. They're not just rabbit food, they're repair food.
Exactly. They're gentle, they're powerful, and they work with your body in ways most people never even think about. Folate is the unsung hero, and leafy greens are packed with it. If we treated spinach like medicine, we'd probably all feel a lot better.
All right, folks, you heard the doctor. Your lungs might not ask for leafy greens, but they need them. So let's stop ignoring that salad and start making it part of our routine. And before we go, if this episode helped you understand your health just a little better, give it a like, share it with a friend, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Dr. Adler, always a pleasure. Thanks for keeping it real and keeping us healthy.